This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Maine State Police have released 2 new pictures of a missing New Sweden girl in an effort to help find her. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall. 14-year-old Stephanie Dameron was last seen walking into the woods near her home on September 24th. A post by state police says investigators have conducted many interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, nationally, and in Canada. The Maine Warden Service and Maine State Police have searched large parcels of land near her last known location. State police say the new photos show a younger Stephanie. The most recent one is the one with a flower in her hair. You can see that on screen there. Stephanie is described as 5 feet tall with green eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. She was last seen wearing blue jeans, a long-sleeve blue shirt, and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the Maine State Police Holton Barracks. Well, a man accused of shooting his father-in-law in Milo will spend 6.5 years in prison. 53-year-old David Berry pled guilty to attempted murder in connection with the incident that happened in April. The victim told police that Berry had emptied the magazine on him and had reloaded. Police say all the shots that were fired missed the victim. Berry will also be on probation for 3 years after serving his sentence. Well, Wednesday morning, police arrested a Bangor man following a traffic stop. According to Bangor Police Sergeant Jason McCambly, the passenger, 31-year-old Mark Perkins, was identified as the suspect in a burglary in which firearms were stolen, along with other items. Perkins was taken to the Penobscot County Jail. He is charged with a felony count of burglary, along with 3 felony counts of theft. McCambly says Perkins admitted to committing multiple thefts in the Bangor area and told police where to find the firearms and stolen items. The firearms were recovered after a search of the Ohio Street home Wednesday evening. According to McCambly, Bangor detectives and evidence technicians located the firearms in the residence, as well as the other items believed to have been taken in the other burglaries in Bangor. He says additional charges may be forthcoming. 13 people have been indicted in a cross-state drug trafficking conspiracy that used social media apps to facilitate drug distribution and the trade of firearm for drugs. 5 of those people are from Maine. 38-year-old Robert Arrington of Bangor and 34-year-old William Wheelock of Windham have not yet been arrested. 39-year-old Amanda Camera of Fairfield and 28-year-old Moses Luzik of Portland are in state custody on unrelated charges. 38-year-old Alexander Wilson of Belfast was arrested during a traffic stop on Searsport Avenue in Belfast. He's facing several charges, including federal conspiracy to commit drug trafficking, state warrants for possession of methamphetamine, and violation of conditions of release. Authorities say the investigation began in October 2023 when law enforcement got information about a drug distributor in Massachusetts conducting high-volume narcotic deals by text messages and social media messaging apps. They traced the social media accounts to Maine and New Hampshire. Well, 2 people are facing charges after Fairfield police responded to a complaint about people being threatened with a weapon. Fairfield officer Casey Dugas says the call came in just after 2 a.m. this morning. He says when officers arrived on location, the alleged victims were able to provide physical descriptions as well as a vehicle description for the 2 individuals that had reportedly threatened them with edged weapons. A few minutes later, a vehicle matching that description was located on the Skowhegan Road. 36-year-old Jerry Sneed of Charleston and 26-year-old Joel Williams of Pittston were arrested. Both are being charged with criminal mischief. In other news, LifeFlight Maine is sounding the alarm on the dangers of pointing lasers at aircrafts. LifeFlight recently had an incident where a laser was pointed at one of their helicopters while the crew was flying back to base in Sanford. Luckily, no one was injured in the incident, but Chief LifeFlight pilot Kirk Donovan says everyone should be aware of the dangers of lasering aircrafts.
It can cause temporary blindness at the time of exposure. So the problem with that, obviously you can do the math in your head. Pilot being temporarily blinded is not a good idea, especially when we're flying 1,500 feet above the ground.
Donovan says the state of Maine has had 24 instances of people lasering aircrafts this year alone. Well, the Maine Climate Council released the state's updated 4-year action plan today. It recognized progress that has already been made, including reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 30% since 1990 and exceeding the governor's goal of installing 100,000 heat pumps statewide. The updated plan calls for making Maine homes and businesses more energy efficient through weatherization and heat pump installation. It also calls for transitioning to renewable energy sources to reduce Maine's reliance on fossil fuels and promoting electric vehicles to reduce carbon emissions. Governor Janet Mills said, quote, "Climate change is real and it is harming our lives, our health, and our economy. In the last 2 years alone, Maine has experienced 9 devastating natural disasters that have brought severe wind and flooding, prolonged power outages, and tens of millions in infrastructure damage. This updated climate action plan will build on my administration's work to make our communities more resilient to the impacts of climate change." Well, Maine's drought task force met today as officials say we are facing one of the driest falls on record. According to forest rangers, this drought has led to an unexpected increase in brush and wildfires all throughout the state. Our Grace Blanchard shares more.
According to members of the Maine Drought Task Force, much of the state has only received a month's worth of rainfall in the span of 3 months. These dry weather conditions have led to an increase in brush and wildfires this fall, leaving structures more vulnerable.
In Maine, especially where we're having brush fires, it's often right next door to somebody's house or their camp. There's a lot of values at risk in Maine when we're having these fires.
Ranger Richards says they are anticipating upcoming rain to help with this drought, but he says it won't be enough.
An inch of rain is going to help. It's going to give us a window where it will be a little bit safer to burn, but realistically we need about 3 inches to get us out of the fire season. That rain can dry right up.
Members of the Holden Fire Department say they started putting away their forestry equipment well over a month ago.
I myself have been to 3 in the last week alone. Most of the state's been going out fairly frequently for the last month and a half.
Firefighter Gabe LeClaire says battling wild and brush fires is much different than the structure fires they are typically responding to.
Wildfires, it takes a lot of manpower, it takes a lot of time and a lot of resources, and in these smaller communities, especially that rely on volunteers, we just don't have that.
Forest rangers and firefighters encourage people to monitor the fire danger forecast frequently and obtain proper burn permits.
If you feel you shouldn't be burning or your fire department says that you shouldn't be burning, please don't. Just be careful. It's better to do it another day than to risk it and have it get out of control on you.
To learn more, visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Holden, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, let's turn things over to Chase Ropanak with a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Devin. Our first weather today is brought to you by Old Town Redemption, offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, taking a look out at the radar right now. Looks like we are in the clear, but we do have a little bit of virga over the state, but lots of rain down to the southwest, and that's going to be coming in late tonight into tomorrow morning is when we can really expect some heavy rain in the area. Highs today still right around 50 degrees, and we see that in Bar Harbor as well. Some cooler temperatures down to the southwest, though. Usually they are warmer, right around the mid to upper 40s. We can see Wickaset with a high right around 49 degrees for today. And again, those cooler temperatures up north by Clayton Lake and Greenville, their highs only right around 42 degrees for today. Winds are from the northeast right now. We can see a little bit breezy out there, 8 miles per hour here in town, but a little bit stronger up north. Millinock right around 12 miles per hour sustained, so gusting near 20 miles per hour. And that's what we're going to see going into tonight as well as winds do pick up again. All right, so for overnight tonight, we're going to see rain moving in, most likely around those later times, 3 to 5 a.m. and lasting throughout the day Friday.
Thank you, Chase. Still coming up on ABC 7 News at 6. In an announcement made today, one of the oldest civilian flight schools in the country is now setting up shop in Bangor. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced 2 towns in Maine will receive a monetary grant for new trail equipment. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
They're rounding the last turn and coming down the stretch. TB Estate is in the lead, followed by Perkaway. Wait, what's this coming up from the outside? Luke from Next Home Experience? What is going on here? TB Estate is still leading, but out of nowhere, Luke from Next Home Experience is gaining. I've never seen anything like this. Luke from Next Home Experience takes the win. Can you believe this? They are not kidding. Get roofed, get sold.
It's Renewal by Andersen's Black Friday doorbuster with unprecedented savings on custom-built replacement windows. Our exclusive Fibrex composite material won't warp or bow and never needs painting, making it vastly superior to vinyl. Our windows are custom-built in the USA, installed with precision and care, backed by the nation's best warranty, and now more affordable than ever. Call today. These massive Black Friday savings and financing end soon. Don't miss out. Call and schedule your free design consultation today.
Unexpectedly true. Maine is the only state that has just one syllable. A lobster can taste with its legs and chew with its stomach. And while most people can't lick their own elbow, 85% of Mainers who buy health insurance through CoverMe.gov pay less than the sticker price for their plan. Here you can search options, choose a plan that works for you, and see how much you could save. You have until December 15th. A plan that fits, a price that works. We've got you covered at CoverMe.gov.
Rennie's, a Maine adventure.
Rennie's is going to keep you warm this winter. We got snowsuits for kids, we got boots, we got jackets, we got coveralls. Oh, hey, you look warm.
I am warm, and you look very warm, too.
A little too warm, actually. It's the right size.
I'm not sure about that. But Rennie's has everything you need for your entire family to keep you warm this year.
Hey!
Hey!
Thank you for shopping at Rennie's this holiday season.
Hey!
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. It's a call to all aviation enthusiasts. The Bangor International Airport and an Augusta-based organization announced today that they're opening a flight school. Our Doug Banks has the story.
One of the oldest civilian flight schools in the country has landed in Bangor.
So this is going to tell you how fast your engine is running?
Since 1946, Maine Instrument Flight has shown promising pilots the sky is the limit, and people in the greater Bangor region now have an opportunity to make aviation aspirations a reality. Back on the ground Thursday, Maine Instrument Flight announced the opening of their new flight school location at Bangor International Airport's General Aviation Terminal.
We're here in Maine, we're part of your community, and we're ready to start flight training.
The flight school, in its partnership with the University of Maine Augusta, is working to put more licensed pilots in the air.
Workforce development is a critical issue facing our state. And Bangor International Airport is excited to be part of bringing one of the most renowned flight schools in our country to our region.
Through the flight school, UMA offers the only Bachelor's in Aviation degree program in Maine.
These programs are designed to meet the evolving needs of the aviation industry, blending academic excellence with hands-on experience to create well-rounded, career-ready graduates.
And one of those graduates will be right alongside tomorrow's aeronauts.
My goal is honestly to go back to school. I would love to get a master's in biology, and I would love to combine like a pilot biologist role together. But I think for a lot of the other people I've went to school with, it was going to the airlines or kind of going through that route too. So there's different avenues you could take.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Today, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced two of Maine's biggest snowmobiling communities have been awarded a combined $118,000. According to Maine Rural Development, the town of Herman will get about $90,000, and the Cold Mountain Snowmobile Club in Grand Isle will receive about $30,000. The money is allocated to purchase new trail grooming and snow grooming equipment. The Penobscot Snowmobile Club Trailmaster Brian Ogden says it costs a lot to maintain Herman's 42 miles of snowmobile trails every year.
Well, you got this brush work, and the stuff grows like it's on steroids, literally. It can grow 4 or 5 feet in a summer, and so then you have the blowdowns, and we've got a bunch of those.
Ogden says investing in the club also benefits the local economy, attracting hundreds to the area each year. Well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, our David Ledford got the chance to highlight Bangor's first tiny home park. And in sports, the Herman Hawks will look to win their first ever gold ball on Saturday. That story is right after the break.
Maine's largest network of parts has more reasons to shop this fall and more ways to keep you warm. Stock up and hit the road with Milwaukee's heated hoodies all winter long at the lowest price guaranteed. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
What's happening at the Penobscot Ice Arena?
Youth hockey leagues. Public skating. Stick and puck. Birthday party.
Adult hockey leagues.
Frozen Friday laser light skate.
Lace up your skates today at Penobscot Ice Arena in Brewer. For more info, visit penobscoticearena.org.
As a child, you just couldn't keep me out of the puddles. That's where the acorn essentially was planted. As we got started, we had nothing in the bank, we were cash poor. Now it's just a one-man show. The support of my credit union, starting the business, the banking advice, when you can call them and they're there for you, that's tremendous. It's been a great asset for me and for my company's growth. It's really an exciting time, and my credit union made that possible.
Get ready for the holiday season. The Rotary Club of Bangor is excited to present the annual Festival of Lights Parade. This dazzling event lights up downtown Bangor and brings joy to thousands, featuring marching bands, small and large floats, dancers, and other performing groups. And don't miss the grand finale as Santa himself arrives to spread holiday cheer. Join us Saturday, December 7th, starting at 4:30 p.m. Let's kick off the season together at the Festival of Lights Parade.
Maine's largest network of parts has more reasons to shop this fall and more ways to keep you warm. Stock up and hit the road with Milwaukee's heated hoodies all winter long at the lowest price guaranteed. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Hamlin's Marine, located in Hamden and Waterville, celebrating 40 years serving all of eastern and central Maine.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Football state championships are this Saturday for our high school athletes, and the Herman Hawks will look to make history by bringing home the school's first ever gold ball. Jack Webb has the story.
Like Coach says, we're always wanting to be remembered, and I think we're going to be remembered this year.
The Herman Hawks made history on Saturday, winning their first ever Northern Maine championship and punching their ticket to their first ever state championship game.
I get happy in the game of football. That's probably the happiest I've ever been. Just doing something that the program's never accomplished and being one of the players on the team at the time.
It wasn't easy, as Saturday was the Hawks' third regional final appearance in 4 years, but they finally got over the hump.
So it goes back to the first days. Everybody that's put their blood, sweat, and tears into this program. Every year there's been groundwork that's been laid, and we took care of business this Saturday, so we got one more.
What was the difference?
Work ethic and our camaraderie out of football. Like, we do everything together outside of football. Doesn't even have to be related to it. We're a team outside and inside football.
They all love each other. The bond that they have is special. It really is.
Herman will take on Freiburg Academy this Saturday as the Hawks will look to bring home a gold ball and solidify their position as the greatest team in school history. They'll lean on the grit and determination that led them here.
More hard work. It's just another football game at the end of the day, so another 48 minutes of hard work, and I think we can come out on top.
Just toughness. We run the ball right down their gut. We're going to be good.
The harsh reality is that no matter what happens on Saturday, it'll be the last time this trailblazing senior class will get to strap up that white helmet.
It's kind of scary. We've been playing since third grade, tackle football. It's kind of scary, but it's kind of cool. It's all coming to an end. Might as well put it all on the field.
I say it all the time. We could be 0-8 with these guys right now, and I'd have a blast. So the win, lose, or draw, the sad part about Saturday is that this season's over. I could spend another 3 years with these guys.
Herman and Freiburg will battle at Lewiston High School on Saturday. Kickoff is slated for 11 a.m. From Herman, Jack Webb, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
That Jack wishing them the best of luck. We'll head over to Alfond Arena now, where the Black Bears are preparing to take on their bitter rival, UNH. Maine hitting the road. This will be their first meeting of the year with the Wildcats, who currently sit at 4-3-2 on the season. They received votes in the most recent poll. It's just a standalone game on Friday with a full series coming later in the season. That one will be in Orono. Their last time meeting was in the Hockey East playoffs back in March, where Maine ended the Wildcats season by a score of 5-0. Maine head coach Ben Barr says, yes, there is buzz about the rivalry, but for his team, it's about just trying to get a road Hockey East win.
For us, it's a chance to go into a really hostile building against a good team and test ourselves. And we failed that test 2 weeks ago when we went down to BC. So that's more what I'm excited about, seeing, like, can we take a step as a program and go to a really tough place, and knowing that the odds are stacked against you and get a job done.
Our puck drop is at 7 p.m. on Friday. That is all the time we have for sports. Here's Chase Ropanak with your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Tyler. Our main weather today is brought to you by Refine Contractors. Refine, your local expert in window and door installation, carpentry repairs, and commercial facilities management. Give them a call today. Rise with Refine. All right, take a look at those highs again. Right around 50 degrees is what we can see here in town. Bar Harbor as well, but actually cooler in the southwestern portion of the state today. Usually it is a little bit warmer, so mid to upper 40s in that southwestern portion of the state for today. Millinocket right around 46 degrees, and a little bit cooler once again up north, Clayton Lake and Greenville right around 42 degrees for their high today. As we take a look into tonight, another above average temperatures for tonight. Right around 43 degrees is what we can expect with mostly cloudy skies, and some rain moving in for tonight. And we still see those temperatures in the 30s up north. But for tomorrow, we'll have a chance to get close to 50 again, but it doesn't look like we will. We're going to have lots of rain for tomorrow, cloudy skies. That's going to keep those temperatures right around the upper 40s. Deer Isle does have a chance to get right around 50. We can see that down in Portland as well. That's where those temperatures by the coast will be a little bit warmer. And once again, temperatures up north only going to be in the mid 30s for tomorrow. Our average high around this time of year is 44 degrees, so we're going to be close to average throughout this weekend. Seeing a high right around 43 on Saturday, 45 on Sunday, 46 on Monday. But then those temperatures really do drop going into next week. We see next week right around Thursday, our high is only right around 36 degrees, so we will be below average by then. Northeast winds out there right now, not too bad in town, right around 8 miles per hour. A little bit stronger towards Millinocket and Holton, where their wind speeds are right around 12 miles per hour, sustained gusting near 20 miles per hour. As we go into tonight, we are going to see those winds pick up into tomorrow as well. So here are those future gusts we are seeing right around 34 miles per hour in Bar Harbor, 7 a.m. early on tomorrow. And we can see here in town right around 23 miles per hour, a little bit better inland, but Dover Foxcroft can still see wind gusts up about just around 30 miles per hour for tomorrow. And going into the afternoon, winds will die down a little bit. We can see by the coast 18 mile per hour gust still, so on the water it will still be definitely a little bit stronger, gusting near 30 miles per hour. Here's our weather maker we got coming in for tonight, all into the southwest right now, but as we go into those overnight hours, that's when we're going to see those clouds start to increase, bring in some chances for some precipitation into our area. It looks like right around those early morning hours when that thing is going to make its way through. And then even going into tomorrow night, we got a chance for a few rain showers as well. So it is going to be a very wet and cloudy day for tomorrow. And as we get into Saturday as well, we're going to be expecting even more rain, especially during those early morning hours. All right, so for tonight, we are going to see a low of 43 degrees, cloudy with some rain showers moving in late and winds gusting near 25 miles per hour from the northeast. For tomorrow, a high of 48 degrees. We're going to have some rain showers primarily before noon, and then we do have a chance for some more showers to move in tomorrow night. Our high for tomorrow will be right around 48. Here's our extended forecast. We can see temperatures sticking around those mid 40s, and we are going to see those showers lighten up on Sunday, but then we do have a chance for some rain and snow mixed in with a high of only 41 on Tuesday. Devin?
Thank you, Chase. We'll have more after the break.
Did you know that 50% of the air you breathe in your home is air that comes from Hafford Basement Systems? All things basementy. A wet, damp basement is a real problem. It can damage your valuables, worsen asthma and allergies, and affect indoor air quality. We'll transform your basement into a dry, usable space and improve the health of your entire home. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basementy.
That's the last gift. I've got Uncle Mike's cordless drill.
Didn't he borrow yours and lose it?
My sister's getting stemware.
She'll use them at another party you're not invited to.
Oh, forget him. You're doing a great job. Now get something for yourself.
Like what?
Like Maine Lottery holiday tickets. Enter any fast play, draw game, or non-winning holiday instant tickets into the Secret Santa promotion, and you could win great prizes.
Okay. They're good gifts.
From an elf, that's a rave.
Holiday tickets, here I come.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $300.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
Looking for winter services? There is still time to sign up. The pros at Atlantic Lawn Care and Landscape specialize in snow removal and ice management for commercial and residential properties. They will take care of the snow plowing, snow blowing, shoveling, salting, and sanding. Atlantic now has 2 locations and is accepting new clients in Brewer, Bangor, Vesey, and in town Orono, Brunswick, Topsail, Bath, and surrounding areas. Call for your free estimate or visit our website for customizable services. Local, reliable, and fully insured. Atlantic Lawn Care and Landscape.
Welcome back. Another company recalls a cinnamon product for concerns of lead contamination. IHA Beverage is recalling its 4-ounce cinnamon powder after routine sampling discovered the product contained high levels of lead. This comes after several other brands like Supreme Tradition and La Fiesta pulled back their cinnamon products because of similar concerns. The product was sold mostly throughout California and was also distributed to other stores across the country. The Food and Drug Administration says no illnesses have been reported. Well, Maine home sales were up more than 3% in October. That's compared to October of last year. According to Maine listings, the statewide sales price rose more than 5% over the same time last year. The median price is now $395,000. Prices in Saginaw County increased the most at 17%. Somerset County prices rose 16.67%. Prices of homes in Knox County actually decreased by close to 9%. And speaking of homes, after just over a year of construction, an entire village of tiny homes in Bangor is ready for tenants. Our David Ledford brings us a look inside the new units.
Bangor's first ever tiny home park is now accepting applications. Randall Park brings 30 new homes to the city amid a statewide housing shortage.
A real solution to a real problem.
Each 320 square foot unit includes a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen complete with appliances, and a heat pump. Renting a home costs $1,300 per month, which includes both water and sewer, while tenants are responsible for electricity. Developer and longtime Bangor landlord Louis Morrison says he wanted to keep the homes affordable while also being able to break even on the $4 million project cost.
It was really how fast can we put roofs over overheads, because people need them, because the housing shortage in Maine is unbelievable. At the end of the day, for us, it was going to be how much money have we spent to do this project? What's it going to take to, make that monthly mortgage payment on that project?
Morrison has been working with the city to bring the village to life for the past couple of years, and city officials say they're hoping other housing developers will look to the project as an example.
We're really excited about it. We're hoping that other developers will look at this as an option, to provide housing that's lower cost.
Pets will be allowed with a fee, and Morrison says tenants can begin moving in as soon as December 1st. To find application information, you can view the story on our website. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, that does it for tonight. From all of us here at ABC 7 News, have a great rest of your evening. But for more of your local news, join us on Fox 22 News Tonight at 6:30.
tonight. Will the House Ethics Committee release its report on Matt Gaetz? Plus, after weeks of drought in the Northeast, will the much-needed rain be enough? ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is the most-watched newscast in America.
People ask me all the time, does Lowry and Associates really get all of those clients, all of those big settlements? Yes, we do. And you know what else is true?
You bought them on the 24th after you had a major kerfuffle on her property where the police were called. And you went and bought grab bars at Home Depot for her? Oh, please, give me a break.
I ordered them.
Your counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,300. We're done.
So the extortion, none of that matters.
Boys are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
We've been extorted.
Just putting up with their attitudes, they showed it.
Police never got recalled.
It did end with the police, and it did end with a 911.
That lady put her hands on me and punched me in her house.
After I escorted him out of my home, he came rushing back in. We met, and as he came around, I went like that, and I popped him right in his chest. Yes, I did.
We have never had a major complaint of any kind.
The son is so inexperienced, it's a shame.
This is the first major complaint we've ever had.
The bathroom is finished, thank God.
Coming up, officials are saying Maine is seeing one of the driest falls on record, leading to hundreds of wildfires throughout the state. Plus, in national news, Matt Gaetz has dropped out of the nomination for Attorney General. And we'll sit down with team members from St. Joseph's Hospital to talk about healthy eating during the holiday season. Those stories and much more just ahead.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Maine State Police have released 2 new pictures of a missing New Sweden girl in an attempt to help find her. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall. 14-year-old Stephanie Dameron was last seen walking into the woods near her home on September 24th. A post by State Police says investigators have conducted many interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, nationally, and in Canada. The Maine Warden Service and Maine State Police have searched large parcels of land near her last known location. State Police say the new photos show a